match here will be extremely interesting. Both gentlemen from the Fale Dojo.
Recent trip to Australia from Trent Hooper coming here to Hughes Academy.
Trent Hooper, we've seen him a couple of times at Hughes Academy shows, so audiences should be reasonably familiar with him. The man is extremely technically sound, very vicious in the ring. And as we've seen once or twice, maybe not too afraid of taking a shortcut, but the man is...
Very confident man.
I can't say I blame him. And he should be feeling confident.
Looking absolutely jacked out there.
The guy looks great, he wrestles like $1 million, the guy's extremely technically sound.
Tony Kozina.
Tony Kozina, a man from Portland, Oregon, wrestled in the States, has wrestled all over the world, wrestled in Japan. He's an absolute veteran, maybe not so much a veteran of the New Zealand scene, but a veteran of the world wrestling scene. He has wrestled so many different countries, he's wrestled everywhere. He's a powerful man, extremely technically sound, probably potentially more technically sound than Trent. I mean, there's always the saying that Tony has taught Trent everything Trent knows, but maybe not everything Tony knows.
It's a case of will the student beat the master here? Will he beat the teacher?
And this is one heck of a test there. One heck of a test here for Trent Hooper. If he can make an impression and potentially even beat his head trainer with Tony Kozina.
Shaking the hand, showing respect here.
There we go, which is great, and it's what you love to see with that student-master relationship. But I tell you what,
it's going to be one technical match here.
It is. As much as these two men respect each other, they respect the ring and they respect the art of wrestling a lot more. And we're not going to see them pull punches and maybe make things easier on each other. Tony Kozina will be looking to push Trent Hooper to his absolute limit in this match. And Trent Hooper will be looking to make an impression on his head coach. So
there we go, Trent Hooper fighting out of it, getting his leg around his head.
Yeah, almost like a modified armbar that Tony Kozina had on Trent
look at that, lifting himself up, putting some pressure on the neck of Tony Kozina.
It does, it puts a little bit extra torque on the neck and the windpipe there of Tony, but Tony flipping straight out of that move.
That's the experience of Tony showing here. Managed to get out of that.
Maybe Tony feeling his forehead there, maybe thinking he'd grazed himself on Trent's knee or Trent's knee pad. But again, straight back to the technical game, a bit of a test of strength from these two gentlemen.
There we go.
And Tony's experienced, almost trying to look like he was reversing that into a headlock, but Trent slipping straight out of it with a headlock of his own. And
wrenching the headlock.
If you can hear these two men, Trent is squeezing the life out of Tony with this headlock.
Pushing up against the rope, Tony is.
Well, Tony's the shorter man here, and that gives him a little bit of advantage. You know, he's under the center of gravity of Trent, and he can
pushing him off.
He can use that to lift and push Trent a little bit where he wants to be. But Trent, the bigger man, using that size and that power to his advantage.
Tony looking a bit dazed here.
I think that Tony might be a little bit taken surprised by Trent's power. And as I've seen in his matches against other people in the at Hughes Academy ring, Trent is a powerful young man.
Maybe Tony rethinking his strategy here, realizing Trent may be the more powerful man.
Exactly. I mean, the technical game will take you so far, but if you're strong and you can muscle out of things and take your opponent down with power and strength, it forces you to change your game. But Tony looking like he's...
Who's going to give here?
Both men...
Trent back on top.
Again, showing the power of Trent Hooper. That in that exchange where they were both trying to jockey for position, again, Trent's power got him the position.
Big shoulder tackle. Hunting Tony to the ground.
I think Tony was looking to shoulder tackle Trent there, but Trent using again his power, almost running through Tony.
Tony rolling out here, catching a moment.
I don't know if you saw the look on Kozina's face there. He looked shocked and amazed that he was on the ground. I don't think he even knew what happened. As you said, Tony has got to be rethinking his strategy at this point. The shoulder tackles, the power game has not been working. It's clearly in Trent's advantage.
Even the tag game, Trent seems to be coming out on top every single time here.
Well, he has been, and maybe. But Tony is a well-traveled veteran. I mean, at this point, is he just testing Trent and testing Trent's limits before he unleashes his full offense? Because we've seen Tony Kozina wrestle a very technically sound game against the likes of Bobby Wishart, who's also a bit of a technical guy himself.
Just still wrenching that arm, going for a hammerlock here.
And there we see maybe Tony was just testing Trent a little bit, trying to find out the limits of Trent's power.
There we go. Trent, again, back on top of control here.
Again, that was a beautiful counter out of the hammerlock there, straight into that headlock, a move that Trent seems to be favouring.
Small jabs here.
And I think Trent's favouring that headlock to his detriment, because clearly Tony was sensing a weakness in the headlock and going for those gut shots.
Taking him over here. Back on top. Cranking that neck.
Trent reacting to a change in game here. He's understanding that Tony's trying to fight out of the headlock, so taking him straight over with that headlock takeover.
Trent here putting a headlock, putting his pressure down to make Tony's shoulders go on the ground for a pin there.
Exactly. It not only forces you into a pinning predicament, is this the variation of the headlock is the on the ground headlock is you're putting your entire body weight on top of your opponent's head.
Tony using the crowd here to grab some momentum, and he does.
Tony trying to wrestle out of this hold. We've saw this before with two men jockeying for position. It didn't work well for Tony last time.
The power of Trent.
And Tony, there we go. As we saw testing the young man, testing Trent's aptitude. Tony sensing he was about to lose that test of strength, sweeping Trent to the ground. And a modified Fujiwara armbar. Wrenching on that shoulder of Trent. And it doesn't matter how strong you are. If your shoulder is out of its socket, you're done.
No more tech game for Trent if that is the case.
Oh, well. No more technical game, no more power game. I would not want to be a one-armed man against Tony Kozina.
No, you're right there.
I wouldn't want to be a two-armed man against him.
See that Trent just favouring at that arm.
But as we saw there, we said at the beginning of the match, Trent is not scared of a dirty tactic here and there. That little gut kick right into the corner. That was vicious. A little cheeky gut kick certainly got him the advantage. And Trent again with the power, throwing Tony right into that corner buckle.
Tony reaching for the rope there.
And Tony sensing he's in danger there, slamming his back straight into that buckle. Oh, and that knee. That knee to the
of pain.
And again, the dirty tricks, exactly what I said at the beginning with Trent, choking Tony Kozina out on the ropes.
What happened to that respect at the start? What happened to that handshake?
As we said at the beginning, they might respect each other, but as soon as the bell rings, they respect the ring a little bit more.
Front guillotine here.
That's a beautiful guillotine from Trent. And the guillotine is such a great move if you're a power guy. It allows you to use the size of your biceps and the power of your arms to just wrench and squeeze at the neck of your opponent.
But how strong can he hold that in with the damage already done to the left shoulder?
Well, you have to know that's got to be a factor. Because the more Trent squeezes and the more Trent wrenches that hold, the more it's doing damage to his own shoulder. Trent's got to be gambling that Tony's body gives out before Trent's shoulder.
Crowd here getting behind Tony.
Crowd have a clear favourite here, clearly wanting Tony Kozina to win. Trying to fight his way to the ring. Oh, and those gut shots again, right to the liver of Trent Hooper. And Trent looking like he's gasping for air after those shots.
Big whip to the rope, misses the line.
And again,
a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker from Trent Hooper.
And we've talked so much about Trent Hooper's size and his aggression and his power, but his speed in that maneuver, able to outmaneuver Tony Kozina and lock in that tilt-a-whirl backbreaker was incredible.
Impressive kick out from Tony, all the damage done to his back.
And you have to know if Trent had maybe been a little bit closer on that hold, hadn't played to the crowd, that might have been a 3 count. But Trent is feeling himself. He is seeing a weakness in Tony at this point, and he is going straight for Tony like a little pit bull.
Using that all 4 seconds of the ref's count there. Getting himself not disqualified.
And we talked about dirty tactics there. That little kick on the way with Tony, keeping him down.
Big move here, looking
the power of Trent Hooper. Tony is not a small man. Oh my God. Tony's not a small man. That delayed suplex.
Big kick out again.
How the heck did Tony Kozina kick out of that? I mean, I know he's a tough man, but Christ.
Look at the crowd here. Wanting Tony to...
Trent is in disbelief that delayed suplex did not put down Kozina.
I think everyone here is in disbelief. But
I'll tell you what, I
again...
am. But Trent has sensed a weakness in Kozina's back and going for a bear hug, which is such a rudimentary maneuver. But against a weakened opponent with weakened ribs or weakened back, it is deadly.
All the damage done to the neck, to the spine, the body.
Think about the internal damage that Trent has been doing to Kozina over the course of this match. And now Trent is just
Lifting
rearranging.
the body.
Trent is just rearranging the insides of Kozina by squeezing. And is going to rearrange the spine of this man. And Trent is, as we've said, and seen in this match, he is a strong young man. Tony trying to fight his way out of this hold. Oh!
How many times can he use the crowd to get back on top?
It almost worked that time.
Oh!
Tony sensed that the strikes weren't working, but that boxing, that clap to the ears of Trent, my
Ringing
God.
in the ears.
It does. It rings your ears. It makes you disorientated. But the damage done to Tony, he wasn't able to take advantage of his offense.
Big back elbow.
It was almost like Tony was just able to catch his breath. Trent
Again, kicking out.
Kicking out, but Trent is firmly in control of this match. Tony isn't able to get any offensive.
Uh-oh, maybe he's looking for it again here.
He's looking for another one of these suplexes.
Oh, Tony!
Oh, a stinger! DDT, reverse DDT there from Tony Kozina, and that had to be desperation. Tony using his size and his momentum to get behind Trent on that suplex.
Both men here damaging the neck to each other.
But you notice here that Tony had that move in so tight. The back of Trent's head slammed into the mat, and Tony has not been able to pin Trent Cooper. He wasn't able to even roll over to get a pinfall.
Tony getting the crowd behind him here once again.
He is in desperation mode as Tony at this point. Firing right hands against Trent Hooper. Tony is firing up.
Here we go. Whips him off here.
And the man can throw one hell of a right hand. Oh, and a
big forearm.
Flying forearm there from Tony Kozina. Trent Hooper is rocked. Rocked, I should say. This is the first massive offense that we're seeing out of Tony Kozina, and Trent Hooper has been taken by surprise. Straight off the ropes. Oh, but maybe not surprised enough. Oh, another.
That's fine. Has to be damaged here.
That almost looked like a knee to his back and his ribs.
We're thinking. What are we thinking? What was it?
Maybe looking for a.
What was it? Hooper, maybe.
Also, Hooper or a Boston Crab. Tony trying to fight out of it. He knows the danger is in.
Uh-oh, he's got it locked in.
And Trent straight in there.
Down now. That has to be it.
Straight in there with that Boston Crab.
Tony was an incredible performer, but this has to be it.
This move puts so much pressure on your lower back.
Oh, Tony!
And Tony trying to muscle out of this move, fight out. He knows it's only a matter of time before his body gives up. Tony is in desperation mode at this point.
He has to be 20 centimeters away from that rope, not even that.
Well, it's so close but so far, because he's got to muscle himself up, and Trent Hooper
pulling him back to the middle of the ring.
Trent recognizing that maybe Tony was reaching the ropes.
We talked about the ring awareness from Tony. What about the ring awareness from Trent pulling him back?
He sensed
that might be it.
I think
that's it. That's it.
What a match. But Tony Kozina did not tap out. His body gave out.
He did not quit. He kept kicking out, and he did not tap.
Trent Hooper, though, has got to be so proud of himself. Not only beating your own coach, but beating him to the point where he can't even fight anymore. I don't know if Tony Kozina is even conscious. He does not know.
Uh-oh.
He might not know that.
What are we thinking here? What?
I don't know if we've got a bit of a technical problem. I think we've got another technical problem with the music there, but Trent Hooper.
I don't think Trent cares.
Celebrating in his victory.
Embracing the audience boos here.
Oh, Trent, what are you doing?
Trent, what are you doing?
We've seen the aggression from Trent. These men shook hands before.
You won fair and square, Trent. Now stop. Here we go. Maybe a bit of respect shown again.
Oh,
lovely to see.
We love to see that. As you said, both of these men respect each other, but they respect the art of wrestling a little bit more. And tonight, Trent Hooper was the better man. And Tony Kozina, what a beautiful act there, paying respect to Trent Hooper. Tony is a proud competitor, and he fought like hell in that match. But
you see Tony clenching the back there. I'm afraid the damage is already done, though.
I can't say I blame the poor man.